What's up guys, this is Delusion from Del Does, and today we're going to be taking a look at part 2 to my Sevarog guide, and yes, it has been a little bit of time between builds, and I do apologise. As some of you will know if you do follow my channel, I have been blessed with a beautiful young daughter, and as you can imagine, she's taking up quite a lot of my time, as any little princess would, and of course I want to make sure I'm there for her all the time that I can be as well. But you know what, we've got some free time. We've got an ability to get into this deck, so let's crack it off, guys. Sevarog, you know about how much I love this guy. He's the baseball-hitting, underworld, beastie god who moisturizes. And we've confirmed that in my previous video, part 1. If you haven't seen it, click the link and you can see how I like to play him. Remember, disclaimer, how I like to play him. Not the best way, not the worst way. It could be the best, it could be the worst. I don't know, guys. This is how I like to play him. Anyway, Prime card. Okay, by now you guys should understand what the Prime cards are. I think I might actually go and do a video on just general deck building as well, actually, after this. But basically, I run with the Warlord. 75.8 physical damage and 100% damage bonus, unique damage bonus there. So, I mean, that's pretty good, but, you know, I don't see the Prime Orb being utilized as much as it should be. But anyway, it's there. Consumables, we've got a Harvester Key. We've got 2 health potions. I've never really actually ever used 2, but I just like to run them. Maybe it's just to help me feel a bit more secure. Mana pot, and let's jump down to the equipment. Okay, so we'll run through the equipment and then I'll run through the build order and the reasons why. So, execution is key. I don't have any upgrades linked to this card. It's purely there in case I need to head out and, you know, get some harvesters up or help with some harvesters while I'm jungling. There is a Beastmaster's key as well, which is pretty good for other people, but I do not believe that you can get it as Sevarog. So, Fountain Spike. It's where I can get physical damage and mana. And guys, you know, I'm recording this after the update. Look at the cool little friggin' update on the icons there. Man, I love that kind of stuff. Just some little polish here and there. You know, it goes a long way. Spear of the Rift Hunter, Spiked Bone Plate, Thorned Greenweave, Viper Bolt, one of the main cards, guys. And look at that friggin' beautiful artwork there that's been upgraded. Oh, I love the direction that this is going. Windcarver Blade, Voidsteel Dagger, Black Blood Virus, and that is also forms one of the main parts of the build as well with regards to how I play Sevarog. As with all my builds, some cards do have multiple avenues that you can go down depending on the situation in the match, and that is the same for this build here as well. And you know, I don't really have a specifically set kind of rock solid build kind of pathway that I follow with Sevarog. It's got a number of factors involved, whether I start to kind of stack my crit early or whether I'm going after a little bit of my attack speed early. And you know, it does change, but let's just, as I always try to do, go with the majority of what I will pick at all of the times. And so I like to start off with a Voidsteel Dagger, guys. The Voidsteel Dagger is a very heavy hitting item to my build. As you can see here, it's got the 7.6 off the bat. It's got the 15.2 physical damage once upgraded. And then I've got options here, guys. I've got options as always. I've got the 2 major strikes, or we have a strike and we've got pierces. And you can, you know, only if needed, switch out 1 pierce for that strike. And that seems to be good enough, depending on, you know, who you're fighting against and how much armor they stack. I find most often than not, guys, if someone is stacking defense, they're stacking defense with just the card, not even additional defense in that card. They normally just literally stack it with whatever the piece of armor is, and then just whatever else the other attribute is. So whether it's the armor, and then they'll stack more damage if it's something like that, or whatever it is. I don't actually see them stack additional upgrade armor cards. So we go Voidsteel Dagger off the bat, guys. Then we move into our Viper Bolt to get some crit happening. Now you need to just look at how the match is playing out here as well, because you know you might also need to maybe just go straight to a Fountain Spike. And again, this is a very, very good choice. You're still going to get a major strike from it, and plus you're going to get some more mana as well to help you with those siphons. So when you're cruising around, you know, ripping the souls from people's hearts, you need more mana to do that. So that's a bit of a pathway. It's a bit of a wide road there, but you know, Voidsteel Dagger, Fountain Spike, Voidsteel Dagger, Viper Bolt, or Voidsteel Dagger and a Rift Hunter are all good ways to go. You know, you're upgrading damage and you're upgrading crit, or you're getting your mana off the ground. But let's just say we will go the Fountain Spike from then. And then, that one's a very quick upgrade as well. If you look at that card there, it's an extremely cheap card. It's coming in at 8 points. There's no reason why you can't have this card and your Void Steel maxed out by, 7 minutes. You're going to be in the jungle. You're going to be wrecking. More often than not, when you're playing Sevarog as a jungle brawler, you're 3 to 4 levels above some of the other enemy heroes, and 1 to 2 levels above the people on your team as well. And that can be from solo jungling. That doesn't even need to be tandem jungling, guys. So Void Steel Dagger. Chuck in the Fountain Spike. Very cheap card to upgrade. From the Fountain Spike, we want to go with the Wind Carver. Now the Wind Carver is going to get us some additional attack speed, and of course start to boost a little bit more of that damage too. And it's a good all-round card. I think this one gets used quite a lot in many builds because you can build it cheap as well. Look, so you see the trend that I've got going on here, guys? These cards are all about getting things out on the board fast. But if you calculate it, it's actually good bang for your buck. So you come out with about a total of, what are we looking at, 20-ish points, or just under 20 points, and you've got 3 cards in play. I mean, that is fantastic, and that is easily achievable for the 25-minute mark, 30-minute mark, guys, depending on how good your jungle farm is. And yes, sometimes you do have to lane, and people seem to think that laning with Sevarog can be a lot more profitable, but laning with Sevarog doesn't always necessarily mean you're going to achieve those siphons. A lot of the times when I'm laning with Sevarog, my farm's down. But when I'm jungling, both sides of the jungle, and doing a cheeky jungle into the enemy areas, your farm is way, way above, especially if you've got them scared as well. Because remember, bust out on them early game. Bust out in their face and start belting them with the hammer. As soon as you bust out with this Void Steel, you're coming out straight up with some damage. You're going to be absolutely wrecking them around the place, and they're going to be scared of you. Because they have to unload a lot of mana, and they have to unload a lot of effort in actually whittling you down to get you back under the tower. So you want to make them scared. And then once we've upgraded the Wind Carver, you want to look at your Spear of your Rift Hunter, and that's going to start to build some of your crit, but you also might need to go your Viper Bolt. Now it's quite often that you can bring this out as card number 3 if you need, and this will help start getting some of the crit up, and this means that you're almost guaranteed to one shot, basically come into an enemy come into a jungle camp, whack it a couple of times, or maybe one time with your hammer, drop a siphon on it, and bam, you're going to pick up 2 of those. And if it's a mana buff or if it's a damage buff, then you'll pick up the 2. Then you can whittle down the red or blue guy, and then you'll be on cooldown, ready to take his soul as well. So you can bring that out as your 3rd card. Now, towards the end, you want to look at the 4th or 5th card, bring out the Black Blood Virus, and this comes down to if you are getting absolutely smashed. Now, you've got to remember, this card is so important when you're in a team fight or you're fighting someone in a lane. If there are creeps around, make sure you're positioning yourself so you are hitting the creeps as well as the enemy hero as well. Or if you're in the jungle and someone jumps you, make sure you're hitting them and the creeps as well, so you can try and get some more of that life coming back to you. And if you watch my video, you'll see me chase down a is it a Twin Blaster? And I've got Twin Blaster and another person on me, and I go straight through the black buff. I pick the black buff up on purpose, because that means that I'm going to be getting the lifesteal from that black buff as well. And I continue to belt Twin Blaster, and he's doing next to no damage to me, and because I'm like 2 or 3 levels above him, and I don't even have any armor on, guys. I'm not even rolling out with any of this armor. In fact, most of the time I'm out there and I'm not even putting this armor in place. They're there just purely in case I need to get it off the ground and I'm having some dramas with something. That's all it is. And the armor, I think I've set up to switch out with the Spear of Rift Hunter, so that's 5, that's 9, 5, 8. No, it's something else. I've got it in there to switch out with. Might be the Fountain Spike. Fountain Spike. Switched out with the Fountain Spike, guys. If you need to put a plate of armor in, switch out with the Fountain Spike. But yeah, you want to bring this on, 4th or 5th card. It really does help. You can bring it on earlier if you're having a good match. If you're not engaging the enemies a lot, and you need to have that regen in the jungles, and you just got a crazy farm happening, then yeah, bring it out in card number 3. I have before brought out a Void Steel Dagger. I've gone to a Viper Bolt, and then I've gone to a Black Blood Virus, 1, 2, 3, and then brought on the other cards. It's a bit situational, but there's not one single path I find with Sevarog that's guaranteed all the time, because your jungle's not guaranteed. This is the main issue here, guys. Your jungle is not guaranteed all the time. You need to be able to get access to that jungle, and if you can't, you need to change your cards to associate how you're going to actually get a better farm. And that means that you want to have more damage in the lane, so you're actually picking up those 3 to 4 minion siphons easier than under pressure, sorry, when the jungle's not necessarily always under pressure. So yeah, you know, Void Steel Dagger, then rock a Fountain Spike if you're jungling, get that additional mana happening, get some attack speed going with the Wind Carver, you know, have a look at where everything's going, bust out the Viper Bolt for the crit, get the crit happening, and that surprises some people. You're not going to do massive damage to heroes, guys, but you're going to sustain a lot of damage yourself while you're whittling them down. And remember, it's about comboing your skills. Get the snare out as an initiation. Come up, siphon them in the face to damage them down. It's going to be on cooldown by the time you're ready to rip their soul out of their face anyway. And start whacking them with the hammer. Whack them with the hammer, and then bam, take their soul. You know, watch part 1. You can see a lot of kill shots, and you know, it's not always necessarily a negative thing to steal that kill when you're on the team as Sevarog, because they know why you're doing it. People are still getting CXP. You're doing it for the souls, to crank up those shoulders. You know, you want to go 9001 level here with this guy. So, and then you've got your armor, and I think these 2 armor pieces are fantastic. I mean, look at the stats on these armor pieces. 22 physical armor, 7.6 physical damage, 15.2 physical damage fully upgraded. Okay, I mean, you could almost say, I want to build that into my build regardless. And I'm considering looking at this, you know, in a tank situation. I might come back and build Sevarog as a tank with that. I might build that with, say, 1 major guard and a couple of major strikes. I mean, and then have the other one as well. So you've got all round, just all round beastie armor with some health. But yeah, so this is the deck, guys. This is how I use it. You know my playstyle. This one doesn't use cheeky wards. He's a jungler. You know, you got the key, and that's it. It's about being out there, farming the enemy minions. You know, farming your minions. Getting the red and blue buffs when you can. Getting the black buff to smash towers. And just all around being a pain in everyone's ass that becomes a sponge, in somewhat a sponge, despite not having any armor in this build, but surprising people because they think you're going to be tanky, and you're going to come in there with a Viper Bolt fully upgraded, and you're going to be critting them for like 300 or something, and that's quite huge for Sevarog. That's a big crit, and then you tie that in with your snare and with your siphon, and you know that's half an enemy bar. Plus you're knocking them into towers, or you're knocking them around, or you're going for kill shots with your hammer. I mean, beast, guys. You know, Sevarog is a great player. I love him. He's a lot of fun. And I enjoy the fact that he has a minigame. The minigame of getting those souls. And, you know, you should be able to crank out those souls. I think in my video I was probably 50-ish souls in mid-match, I think. Maybe more. I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. But that's what you got to aim for, guys. You should be hitting the 80 to 100 mark. You know, just after mid-game, and it can be done. You've just got to have a crazy jungle farm, and you got to farm all the lanes, and you got to rotate. You got to help out in team fights. You got to be there. You got to be there. You know, body blocking enemy heroes, stopping their exit paths, helping with snares, helping with crowd control, and just belting them with a massive hammer. Because that's the beautiful thing about these models in this game. The big models are a massive pain in the ass for body blocking. So yeah, quickly guys, rock out a Void Steel Dagger. If you're jungling, go the Fountain Spike. You know, come back for a Wind Carver, go for a Rift Hunter, go to the Viper Bolt, and then go the Black Blood Virus last. Depending on how things are going, you might bring this in 4th or 5th. But there, that's my build for Sevarog, and it's still viable in the patch that's just released. And, you know, I hope you get something out of it, guys, and please feel free to leave any comments if you think that I'm doing something really pathetic, or, you know, if you like it. Subscribe, tell your friends about the channel. I really, really enjoy it. I love making these videos, and I hope you get something out of it as well. So, you know, take care, YouTube.